What's up everyone, Zach Seif here, and today we're going to talk about my brand new JP15 from Ernie Musicman. As you will see very soon on this channel, one of my favorite bands that I've ever been a part of is coming back for a little reunion tour, and it required me having a 7-string in my arsenal again. So the fantastic folks at Ernie Musicman and Music Players were able to get me this gorgeous JP15 in Amber Waves quilt. Today we're going to dive into these new 2025 models and see why they're some of my favorite guitars I've ever had the pleasure of owning. My God. If we just take a second to look at how insanely detailed and figured this top is. I mean, I'm not usually a big quilt top guy, but something about this just has a beautiful elegance to it in a way that no other guitar that I've personally owned or have played has. And not to mention the amount of figuring on the back of this neck is just insane. When it comes to roasted maple necks, Ernie Ball are the best in the game. I don't think there's any question about that. These 2025 JP15s feature a beautiful lightweight Okume body, which honestly sounds fantastic. I had no problem incorporating this guitar directly into my current setup without having to do any tweaks to my presets to accommodate the Majesty Nebula or my Cutlass Jason Richardson model. One of the biggest benefits to the way that Musicman does their necks too is the fact that they finish everything in a beautiful gunstock oil, and it requires very little to no maintenance over time. So it allows you to have a consistent, fast, and smooth playing experience throughout the lifetime of the instrument. When we get into the electronics here, we have a 7-string version of the DiMarzio Illuminator pickup, which I also have the 6-string version of in my Musicman Majesty Artisan from back in the day. We have the push-push up to 20 dB boost, which you can adjust how much boost you get from the back plate of the guitar, which we'll go through later. You also have a push-push coil split so that when your magnetic pickup selector is in the middle position only, you can achieve the inner coil split of this guitar to emulate the old school Petrucci Ibanez and JP6 models. I always keep this in this position because it gives the best clean tone for what I do. And then down here you have the master volume for the piezo pickup. Speaking of the piezo, Fishman returns with their beautiful piezo pickup system here. This is the power bridge system, and the way that you can turn that on and off is through the upper toggle here, where in the down position you only have the DiMarzio magnetic pickups. In the middle, you get both at the same time, and you can choose to route them through the same or a different output through the stereo mono output split here, so you can have just the piezo coming out of one and the magnetic coming out of the other. Or if you're like me and you use a modeler, you can just plug into there and have different scenes or presets for the acoustic or the electric sound. And then of course, if you're all the way up, it'll be just the piezo pickup by itself. As always, we have the floating Musicman JP tremolo system, which next to a proper Floyd Rose is probably my favorite in the game. There's no locking nut, you don't have to cut the ball ends off, and you get beautiful tremolo flutters, which is something that I desperately require on any of my trem equipped guitars. We also have the pleasure of using the new mono branded case that Ernie Ball has switched to, and honestly, this is a beast of a case. Coming from someone with a background in case design and manufacturing, it's hard to deny how solid of a case it is, and I would reckon that you're probably safer flying with that than the older plastic cases that used to ship with the guitars. I know there's a big debate about, oh, it's a gig bag, or oh, it's a hard case. I've seen plenty of the older cases crack and get damaged on tour. The thickness of this bag and how secure the guitar was, I mean, when I opened the case, it was perfectly in tune, but it's incredibly bulky in terms of protection, and it's very rigid, so I would have no problem touring with that if I didn't already use my Quantum Industries triple case. Like the other Musicman JP guitars, we have a 25.5-inch scale length. The guitar comes stock stuck with 10 to 56 gauge strings in B standard. We have a 17-inch neck radius, which is personally my favorite. It's very comfortable for both playing chords and absolutely shredding up on the higher frets. We have the Shaler M6 IND locking tuners, and if you need to adjust the truss rod, you don't have to take anything off. You just pop the tool down here at the bottom of the neck and make adjustments until you're ready to go. Last but not least, on the back here, we have our beautiful 5-bolt plate here, and the way that it's sculpted, you can get all the way up to the 24th fret here without having any wood in your way. Your thumb rests very comfortably here, right around the 15th, 16th, 17th fret area, and you can reach the 24th without any issues. It's not like a Les Paul or something where you're kind of stuck at the heel. You can get all the way down without issue. And then we have our controls for the piezo and the boost. You can adjust the treble, bass, and the blend percentage that you get, and then also from 0 to 20 dB a boost when you activate the boost. Something that immediately jumped out to me upon taking this out of the case was how comfortable the neck is. If you've ever played a Musicman guitar before, you know that they are very particular about their neck shapes, and everything is very comfortable, even if it's a radius or a depth that you're not used to playing. For these upcoming shows for Crash the Party, I am using this guitar 50% of the set list because of how comfortable it is, how versatile it is, and the fact that I can reach the lower octave notes that don't force me to now have another guitar in a different drop tuning just to achieve. And because the rest of the guitar remains in standard 6-string tuning, this is the perfect backup instrument for my 6-string as well. I could play the entire set with just my Majesty and this. So now that we've gone through what makes these 2015 guitars so special, let's see how they sound by themselves. And with that out of the way, I'm going to wrap up this video because I have a lot of practice to get to, because Crash the Party is coming back for just 2 shows this year. And I promise that a vlog will follow. I'm going to try to make that one as long as possible to really capture how cool it is to finally have a 7-string guitar back in my arsenal, playing top 40 music in front of a couple hundred to a couple thousand people every night. Huge shout out and thanks to Scott over at Music Players. If you guys aren't aware, Music Players is a online magazine and YouTube channel for professional musicians that I've been doing gear reviews for since last NAMM. And because of that, I was able to get a connection to Musicman to demo and review on this channel and also take out on the road. I highly recommend that if you're in the market for a 7-string and you want something that's going to be comfortable, versatile, and really stand up to the rigors of professional use, the JP15 should be your first stop. For more information, be sure to check out Ernie Ball Musicman's website, and be sure to catch Dream Theater on tour because John does have a couple JP15s in his arsenal again when playing some of the backlog stuff and songs that are in lower baritone tunings like C standard. Until next time, everyone, keep on practicing and keep on following your dreams.